Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Very good. I'm excited because we've got a guest coming up on the program today. Do you know who we're going to be talking to?
I have no idea who we're going to be talking
Well,
to.
do you want me to tell you?
Sure.
All right, I will. It's Adam Rosante. Going to be talking about New Year's resolutions and 30-second hacks. So I had a lot of people that I lined up guest interviews with about resolutions, and we're like halfway through the month, and I think my interviews will last longer than some of the resolutions. But we're going to be visiting with him about 30-second hacks on what you can do to beat your New Year's resolution. You know, some little tips.
Okay, awesome.
So, fun stuff. According to a new study, rhinos use chemical makeup of their dung to tell other rhinos their gender, their age, and what they're looking for in a hookup.
Oh.
So it's kind of like Match.com for rhinos. They just walk around smelling rhino poop. It's like, yeah, this one right here. This is the one.
Wouldn't it be easier to just watch how they vote?
This rhinoceros.
Oh!
Not that kind of rhino, you silly goof. Coming up, we've got some special things happening on this Wednesday. We'll tell you all about that in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Wednesday, January the 18th. Today is Pooh Day, also known as Winnie the Pooh.
Ah.
Yeah, so not the
other
poo.
kind of poo.
Not what you were thinking. It's also Thesaurus Day, and I wonder if there's another way to say that. Isn't that what a thesaurus is?
Yes.
To look up words that are... All right.
Yes.
That was a funny joke in my mind. It clearly was not as funny in reality. That's it. That's all we got. So
We could look up different ways to say poo.
no, I really don't think we should go through those on the air. And it's Winnie the Pooh. I always thought Winnie the Pooh was an interesting character, but I never, like when you watch the cartoons,
I never liked
he
Winnie
was
the
never
Pooh.
really like the main star, even though it was Winnie the Pooh.
I just never liked that. I never got into that.
Piglet seemed like he had more screen time. Tigger, Eeyore, oh bother. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just didn't really
never
see
got
them.
into it.
That wasn't your thing?
No.
Christopher Robin, not your.
No.
That's not your cup of tea, huh?
No.
All right. Well, we've killed a whole minute now talking about
I'm
that.
a Muppets girl.
I know
I
you
like
are.
the Muppets.
Let's move on. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
It's a new year and many have made resolutions. Have you? If your resolution is to quit smoking, I want to help. This is one of the biggest resolutions every year. I met a hypnotist that's been able to help people with this one. He can send you a stop smoking hypnosis CD program that you just listen to, and it's designed to help you quit smoking. It's available at a discount for our listeners right now at radiosavings.com. Get the tobacco-free CD program for just $40. That offer is available right now at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. A woman in France has a robot partner called Inmovator, who she 3D printed herself, has been living with now for a year. On her Twitter page, she goes by Lily Inmovator. She says,
my goodness.
I'm a proud robosexual. We don't hurt anybody. We are just happy. I'm reading it like a robot because I assume that is the way she talks.
Goodness.
Now, Lily is reportedly engaged to her robot she printed and says that she will marry when human-robot marriages are legalized in France.
Gosh.
And I'm assuming that's probably where they will legalize them to start with, is in France. Just guessing there. Lily said she realized that she was attracted to robots at age 19 because she disliked physical contact with people. She's like, I don't like people touching me. You know what I'd rather have? The gentle touch of a robot. I just don't. You know, I'm not trying to poke fun at her because really I don't need to. This is just. I'm just saying
she
I don't.
takes care of that herself.
I'm just saying I don't need to pick on the lady. I kind of feel sad for her, honestly, because I think that's a very confused person right there. You know, she fell in love with a robot that she printed herself. This is like, remember in the 80s there was a movie, Weird Science? Remember that? Mm-hmm. Do you remember the movie where they created a woman with a computer and whatnot? But when she came to life, she was a human.
Right.
That movie would have been completely different if she had came to life and she was a robot.
Still a robot, yeah.
And you know, everybody was attracted to the robot. That'd be a whole different movie. There was a movie with Johnny Five, but there was nobody that was attracted to Johnny Five.
This is just bizarre.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but
well, every day at this
that's
time,
probably
I find
her
bizarre
favorite
things.
movie.
What's that?
That's probably her favorite movie.
What, Johnny Five?
Johnny Five.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what. There's not a photo that I have. Maybe I'll have to look now. See if there's a photo. If this thing looks like a person or if it looks like a robot. I don't know.
A robot.
A robot. I was going to see if you'd catch that, and clearly you did. Anyway, this happened in France. She printed a robot, or a robot, and now she wants to marry him. And you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
and this is your brain on drugs. A man who was caught on video carrying a urinal out of a pub in England finally turned himself in. And when they said, "Dude, what are you up to?" he said, "I'm sorry. I had to take that as a souvenir."
How did he get it off of the wall?
He broke
Did
it off
he take
the wall.
tools in with him?
Apparently, he was prepared. He told police he took it as a souvenir. Why not a coaster like most people? Or maybe a matchbook. I had such a great time at this pub, I stole their urinal. Now,
Whatever
speaking
works.
of urinals, this probably isn't so much for the brain on drugs, but I just thought it was interesting, and it goes right along with urinals. A study finds that liquids make up almost a quarter of the calories the average American diet is consuming. Is that good or is it bad? Well, the problem is most Americans only count calories that they're eating, which means they're not aware of how many calories they're drinking. And alcohol has calories.
I know, it has
So,
lots
there
of
you go.
calories.
Yeah, so you got to be careful. If you're only counting the eating calories, you're missing out on a whole lot of calories. Coming up, we've got your moment of duh.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. I think this is kind of what Heidi's going to be like when Heidi is 79 years old. This is a 79-year-old great-grandmother from England. She's been convicted for the 39th time for shoplifting.
Why would you think I'm going to be like that? I won't
Because just listen to what
steal
she
things.
no, but listen to what she says. After her latest theft, only $28 worth of stuff, by the way, most likely from a liquor store. She told the police, "I do it because I'm bored." I can just see you. I can see you getting bored. You've gone to the grocery store wearing a dinosaur head on your person,
Doesn't
like a dinosaur
everybody?
hat. My wife and my daughter went walking around the grocery store, snapping selfies of themselves wearing dino hats. So like dinosaur
And we've gone to the
heads.
store in ninja hats, and we've gone to the store in
You
those
guys are gonna be-
funny glasses with the fake noses, and we just, I don't know, it shakes things up.
Mommy and daughter time right there. Anyway, this lady, 79 years old, 39th time she's been shoplifted because she gets bored. All right, get your scoop of the day on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. A North Carolina man jumped in front of a snowplow to flag him down. Guess why?
Why?
I need a ride to the hospital. My wife is in labor.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's a good reason to jump in front of a snowplow. He's lucky that he didn't need to go to the hospital. If the snowplow hadn't stopped, he would have been the one needing the hospital. But that's one way to do it, I suppose.
That's a way to get her there. Otherwise,
Definitely.
they would have been stuck on the side of the road in the cold. So
Exactly. Hey, a group of janitors in
he's
China.
lucky one came by.
Exactly. Group of janitors in China were promised new boots by their employer. So they got these wink, wink boots. Turns out they were high heels. The shoes were donated to the workers by local retailers. The company blames a mix-up in shipments. The company says that they're going to try to make things right and actually get them boots. Meanwhile, across town, there's a bunch of strippers wearing boots. Where are our high heels? So a bunch of janitors in high heels.
Goodness.
Hey, Tom Barack, the man leading President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration committee, told reports that the event this Friday, the inauguration, is going to have a, quote, soft sensuality and, quote, poetic cadence. What does that mean?
I have no clue what that means.
I think he's just having fun with the media.
I have no clue what that means.
So what's the event going to be like? Well, there's going to be a soft sensuality. That's what it's going to be
I
like.
should just say it's going to be amazing.
It's funny.
It's going to be huge.
I've never heard of anything described quite like that. Hey, for those of you in a band, you're going to want to turn your ear this way. Bon Jovi. You remember those guys? Came out in the 80s. Huge hits in the 90s, 2000s, even this decade. They're still doing well. They're touring. We've been to see John Bon Jovi. Unbelievable show.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're doing a contest right now to choose singers or bands to open for them for their upcoming tour. Artists need to upload videos of themselves performing their own original music. Concert promoters will select 10 finalists. Bon Jovi's management then will pick winners from the top finalists to perform 20-minute sets before they come out and play.
Awesome.
How cool would that be?
How cool would that be?
Especially if you're a Bon Jovi fan. We have a friend that's a huge Bon Jovi fan in a band, and we're like, hey, you guys need to try out. So
Yeah.
study shows men find women with curves more attractive than stick-thin supermodels. Psychologists from the University of Texas said the research shows that the admiration of an hourglass figure appears to be hot-wired to the male's brain. So for those of you who are trying to, lose it too much weight, you might want to keep that in mind.
They like curves, not rolls.
No curves.
There's a difference.
Hubba.
There's a big difference.
I like my wife. You got some curves over here.
I got some rolls.
You got some curves. Hey, Dallas Cowboys, this is kind of funny. We're not big football fan people here.
Not at all.
But the football team, the Dallas Cowboys, their social media department is calling out on their fans for bandwagon behavior. The folks who run their Twitter created a shared Cowboy bandwagon fan application to let certain fans back on the bandwagon after giving up on the team over the last 20 years. There's an application you can fill out.
Oh my gosh.
I just can't think that's funny because that's how people are. They're, fair weather fans. So when they're doing well, they're big fans. And then when they're not, they're like, oh, these guys are terrible. New report, scientists say that activating a certain 2 sets of neurons in your brain of mice, they were able to transform from docile creatures into savage predators. So saying, hey, all we got to do is, root around in your brain and change a couple things, and we can make, these really happy-go-lucky mice, tear each other apart. Do we need to know this kind of stuff?
No, that's awful.
I think that's really kind of sad. And our final, there's a final story here. The Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas had every sort of gadget you could imagine, from smartphones to headphones to drones, and a $7,000 massage chair. Seems a bit pricey to me. The Rex L massage chair was on display, available for testing. Crazy price, right? Well, that's only half of it. Half of the company's deluxe model, what they call Avantar, won't be released until next year. Guess how much that one will be?
How much?
$13,000 to $15,000.
It must be an amazing chair.
Apparently. I mean, for that, it better vacuum for you, too,
But
while
you
you're
know
gone.
what? If you, for $7,000, if you figure you're somebody who goes maybe once a week for a massage, you're dropping $70 to $100 for a massage. If you do that once a week, it's money well spent, as long as it's the same quality.
I don't know. It just seems that's not my kind of thing. I'd rather have a person. I don't know. Maybe a chair's good. I have no clue. All I know is it's out there, and I won't be getting one anytime soon. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Radio advertising works. When it's done right, it works even better. There are many things you can do to get a better response, and shouting sale really isn't the best thing, believe it or not. Did you know that when you put words to music, they're 9 times more memorable? If you're trying to get people to remember your company, consider a jingle. We work with one of the very best jingle companies in the business, and we'd love to use music to help you grow your company. Learn more and hear examples at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. I know there's a lot of folks out there that made these New Year's resolutions a couple weeks ago, and if you're still hanging in there and you're still doing it, I'm so proud of you. Going to be visiting right now with a gentleman that is going to give us some ideas and things that might actually make it a little bit easier. We have Adam Rosante joining us, and Adam, well, first of all, he's on the line right now. Let's say hello to Adam. How you doing, sir?
Hey, John, I'm great, man. How are you?
Very, very good. You've got on the here it says world-renowned fitness and nutrition coach shares 30-second hacks to help us stay on track with our fitness and nutrition goals. So, first of all, it's always cool to talk to a world-renowned anything, so that's awesome. But it's even cooler that you're going to give us some 30-second hacks to help us stay on track. Because if there are people that are still hanging in there after a couple of weeks with these resolutions, that's really good. I read a statistic that said that most people are done after the first week. That's not good, is it?
Yeah, no, John, it's actually a very sobering statistic. Most people drop off after the first week, and then brace yourself. more than a third of the people who set goals and resolutions at the new year have completely abandoned them by the time February comes.
Oh,
More
man.
than a third. That's crazy, man. It's like more than a third of the population has just given up on their goals. But the thing is, it really doesn't have to be that way. And it's part of the reason why I'm so excited to team up with Pure Protein. We're doing this national sweepstakes competition to help you keep on track in the new year. And one of the big problems that a lot of people have is that they overcomplicate this. I promise you it is very, very simple. Now, the hacks may take a little bit longer than 30 seconds for me to explain, but I promise they're super fast to put into action. They work with all of my clients, both privately and publicly. And the idea here is you really want to focus on two keys, right? So the first key is focus on progress, not perfection. I've been doing this for a very long time, and I can tell you that the biggest reason that people fail in achieving their goals is that they try to take on too much too soon. Right? It's kind of typical. We decide to overhaul the diet, take on some crazy new fitness regimen, all of this stuff, and then what happens? We get overwhelmed, we get burnt out, and then we quit. The people who succeed, statistically, most of the time are those who just take a few small steps every day, because it's really those small steps taken over time that lead to massive results. And it sounds a little hokey, but I promise it is very, very much the case. So you want to focus on that progress over perfection. So an example of that. Let's say, for instance, you're the kind of person who around 3:30 in the afternoon gets that snack craving, right?
Yeah.
And so what do? You find yourself with your arm buried up to the elbow in a candy bowl or tearing into a bag of potato chips.
Yeah.
So if that's you, and it's most people, it's me, you want to decide that you are going to very simply just change that one habit. That's one very small, doable step. So what you're going to decide is every day you're going to swap out that junk for something healthy, something very simple and healthy, right? So ideally you want to focus and prioritize protein. Protein is the king of all macronutrients. It's going to keep you feeling fuller longer. Plus, it is the building block of lean muscle, which we all want. And so, it is very unlikely that you're going to keep some grass-fed skirt steak in your purse or grilled chicken in your desk drawer. So things like Pure Protein bars come in very, very handy. I am the king of them. It's like a circus at my house. You open up any drawer and they fall out. I stash them in clients' bags so that you are always prepared, which leads me to my second tip. Set yourself up for success. Right? The best laid intentions go out the window once life ceases to be perfect. And I don't know about you, John, but my life is very far from perfect.
Yeah, same here.
So I like to give myself a leg up as much as possible. Change can be hard, so we want to kind of give ourselves all the hacks and cheats we can get our hands on. So set yourself up for success. You may have a plan to go out at 3:30 in the afternoon and go to that juice bar and get that awesome smoothie, and then all of a sudden you get an email from your boss that you got a 3:45 meeting. So now what do?
Yeah.
You're either going to be starving or you're going to go for the candy bowl. So keep something simple in your desk drawer, like a chocolate peanut butter protein bar. The Pure Protein bars are super high in protein, very, very low in sugar, and honestly, from my perspective, most importantly, they're delicious, which cannot be understated. Because if you're forced to eat something that tastes like hay, you're only going to do it for about 3 days, and you're like, screw this. This is ridiculous. I want the M&Ms.
And say that's something that's really important. If it doesn't taste good, it's really hard to keep doing. So, when it's something that does taste good, and you're saying, hey, I'm replacing a candy bar with something that tastes good, you're really not punishing yourself because you're going, hey, this tastes good too.
That's exactly right. And the thing is that, you want to give yourself time to adapt to different things. Like a kale salad is not going to taste like a Hershey bar.
No.
Period. No matter what sort of mental Jedi mind tricks you try to do on yourself, it's just not going to. So you have to sort of give yourself a little bit of time. But then there are things you can do to give yourself a leg up. Like I could eat chocolate peanut butter Pure Protein bars like they're going out of style. Doesn't necessarily taste like a candy bar, but it's delicious, and I know that it's incredibly good for me. It's good for my body. The nutrients are good for my mind. You don't want to just look great. You want to feel great. So another little tip, a little hack for your listeners is, in the same vein of setting yourself up for success, the best way to avoid temptation, John, is to remove it entirely. If one of your goals for the new year is to get into shape and to lose a little bit of weight, you want to surround yourself with things that are going to lead you to success. So that means clear the junk out of the house. I call it doing a pantry raid. Clear everything out of the fridge, clear everything out of the cabinets, tie it all up and throw it in the garbage. Don't feel guilty about it. You getting rid of the garbage in your house is not going to take away from people who are hungry elsewhere. I know a lot of people tend to deal with a lot of guilt throwing food away, but the simple fact of the matter is there are things you can do about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Volunteer, give some money. Don't feel guilty about taking the junk out of your house. And it's not junk food. I say it all the time. There's junk and there's food. You want the latter. So fill your fridge and your cabinets with delicious, nutrient-dense foods, lean proteins, grass-fed beef, chicken, fish, lots of wonderful fresh veggies, and then supplements that can help, alter the diet. So if you're making a smoothie in the morning, you're not going to, let's say you make a smoothie, and I'll give you my template for a perfect smoothie every time. You're going to pick a veggie, you're going to pick a fruit, you're going to pick a protein, a healthy fat, and a liquid. So let's run through that real quick, because a smoothie is super easy to make in the morning for breakfast, right?
All right, yeah.
And so we'll pick a veggie. Let's say it's something like a spinach, okay? Then we want to pick a fruit, which is going to help balance out the bitterness of that veggie, something like berries. And then with protein, obviously you're not going to throw some raw chicken into your smoothie. So a protein powder is a perfect solution for that. And again, I always go with the pure protein whey, just because it's super clean. It's a really great clean protein that's free of all of the junk that's sitting in a lot of the protein powders on shelves. Plus, it is not going to break the bank, which is very, very, very important, at least to me. I like to save my money. So you got your protein powder, and then you want to add in a healthy fat, something like a nut butter, peanut or almond butter, and then pick a liquid. Water is simple, unsweetened almond milk. You could even do like a cold coffee or green tea, and then blend it all up. You have yourself more nutrition in a glass than most people get an entire day.
And there's a little preparing to do there, but that once you've got all that stuff on hand, it's not that hard to do because you've got it within arm's reach and you throw it in a blender. That doesn't take a long time.
No, man, listen, I'll tell you what, I swear, it takes me less than 5 minutes to make a smoothie. The preparation comes in the shopping. You have to shop. It's like it's not a magic show. We have to exert some level of effort to get in the shape we want to get into, but we can simplify that if we have the right information and tools. And that's really the heart of what I'm trying to impart to people, is that this can be very, very simple if you just strip out the nonsense and focus on a few key essentials.
Again.
So you got that stuff in the freezer, you've got that stuff in the pantry, you wake up in the morning, you got a little single-serving blender. I love to use those just because they're really simple, it's easy for cleanup. You can even drink right out of the blender bottle. And like the little NutriBullets or the Ninjas.
Yeah.
You throw it all in the blender, you hit pulse, it's done in under 5 minutes. You can walk out the door with it. Simple.
Again, our guest today, Adam Rosante. Adam, where can we go to find some info if people may be listening or saying, hey, this sounds good, I want some more of these 30-second hacks? Where do we go? Do you have a website?
Absolutely, man. Thanks for asking. KeepOnTrackSweepstakes.com. You've got a ton of info on there, plus every week we're going to be uploading a brand new workout. So at the end of 8 weeks, you'll have a full 20-minute workout. And if you upload a video of yourself working out or post a video of yourself working out to social media and hashtag it Pure Protein, you'll immediately be entered into a sweepstakes to, wait for it, come to New York and work out with me privately.
Nice.
VIP trip, travel for 2, I believe.
That is fantastic. So that would be recording a video or posting a photo and then putting what hashtag? Pure Protein?
Yeah, hashtag Pure Protein. Like, super simple, man. Just set up your, turn your camera around, do a little selfie video of yourself doing any one of the moves on the KeepOnTrackSweepstakes.com website. That's KeepOnTrackSweepstakes.com. Post it, and we're good to go.
Very cool. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, Adam.
John, thank you so much for having me on, man.
And again, the website is KeepOnTrackSweepstakes.com. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
When is the last time you changed the air filter on your furnace? Now, don't be embarrassed. That happens to a bunch of us. The furnace filter should be changed often. This will help your heating and cooling system run more efficiently, and it'll even extend the life of your system. Now, there's an easy way to make it happen. Filter Easy, a new subscription service that delivers your size filter right to your door on the schedule you choose. It's easy. Filter Easy. One less thing to worry about. Learn about a special offer available now at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In stamp collecting, there's a term called Cinderellas. What is a Cinderella? Do you know?
I have no idea.
It is
I'm not a stamp collector.
A stamp-like seal or sticker that has no postal validity whatsoever. They include seals issued by charities and revenue stamps issued by governments. If you have one of those, that's called a Cinderella. They also have Snow Whites. You know what those are?
No.
I'm just kidding. They don't really. They don't really have Snow Whites. I was going to have a joke there that was probably inappropriate, so I'll just move on. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Your body creates and kills 17 million red blood cells per second. Per second. Bodies
Creates
are busy.
and kills?
Creates and kills that many blood cells per second. So it's creating new ones, killing off old ones. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Austin, Texas was originally named Waterloo, Texas. The site was settled in the 1830s, picked as the capital republic of Texas in 1839, and then renamed in honor of Stephen Austin. So there you go. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A group of spiders have 7 different types of glands to
Lord.
produce web-making fibers called silk.
Oh,
Yeah. So is that where silk comes from? From spiders?
Ugh.
I didn't really know that.
I can't stand spiders.
Couple of fun facts for you right there on a Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
This is Richard Lustig, the world's first and only 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Since I endorsed Lottolicious, I have won something every single draw. They do all the work. You don't have to worry about running to the store to buy your tickets. They take care of all that. So if you're looking for the best way to play the lottery, to give yourself the best chance of winning, go to radiolottopool.com and join today. Again, that website is radiolottopool.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. This should motivate you to clean up your house. When people live in a clean-smelling environment, they are unconsciously more fair and generous, according to researchers in Brigham Young University, University of Toronto, and Northwestern University. All of them. They worked on this here. They took a few spritzes of citrus-scented Windex for the study. Participants had to show a dramatic improvement in their ethical behavior, by the way, in order for this to matter. No one is saying whether this is a magic elixir, but they think that the power it could have on your spouse or your kids or your boss could have huge implications in offices and retail as well. They say this could actually help curb shoplifting, they think. Companies are often employing heavy-handed interventions to regulate conduct, but it could be very costly and oppressive, and they're saying all you really need to do is make the place smell better, and everybody's going to treat each other nicer. So if it looks nice and smells nice, study leader from BYU, whose office smells quite average, says, this is a very simple, unobtrusive way to promote ethical behavior. I wonder why they would put in there that her office smells average.
I don't know.
Lead author, whose
Maybe they're
office
trying
smells
to say
like
she's
licorice.
not ethical.
I don't know. That was a bizarre thing to throw in there for no reason. Lead author of the study, who likes walnuts. Okay. What a weird thing to put in there. We were looking at walnuts the other day at the store, by the way. Looked at a bag of walnuts. It was going to cost $9.
Crazy
I was like, yeah,
expensive.
I like walnuts, but I don't like them that much.
All nuts. They're
I know.
They're
we were looking-
nuts.
It is. We were looking through. What did we buy? We bought some kind of nuts.
We bought.
There was something that was the cheapest one.
We did buy walnuts and we did buy slivered almonds.
Walking away from all the people with their monocles buying nuts, and we're the cheapos walking away like, yeah, I got these. Only $6 for this bag. Anyway, if you want to have a better staff, make sure your place smells good. That's what the story's saying. I don't know how we got off to the nuts thing. Anyway, back to this. Brigham Young University had nothing to do with nuts. Had everything to do with things smelling good means people have higher ethical behavior.
There you go.
John and Heidi.
It's a new year, and many have made resolutions. Have you? If your resolution was to lose weight, you're not alone. This is the single biggest resolution every year. And every year, millions of people try, and many fail. I met a hypnotist that's been able to help people with this one. He can send you a weight loss hypnosis program on CD that you just listened to, and it's designed to help you reduce the cravings. It's available at a discount for our listeners right now at radiosavings.com. Get the weight loss CD program for just $50. That offer is available now at radiosavings.com.
John
Here's another reason to get those fruits and veggies, Heidi. Consuming a diet rich in fruits and vegetables, apples and avocados, all those kinds of things, could be as beneficial to your mental health and your well-being as it is for your physical health. The opposite is also true. If you don't eat enough fruits and veggies, your mental health could decline. Lead study Dr. Saviano Stranges, sure I got that right.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you
analyzed
nailed it.
data from the Health Survey for England. They found that 33.5% of those with high mental well-being ate 5 or more portions of fruit and veggies every day, compared to only 6.8% who ate less than 1 portion. So, apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, it could also keep the psychiatrist away, too, is what they're saying.
There you go. That's awesome.
So, you're supposed to have more fruits and veggies. Anybody surprised by that?
Not at all.
I think that's a pretty, self-explanatory thing. We've been trying to do more salads, and we had a salad the other day that had apples and stuff in it. Apples, and what else was in there? There was, what was in that? There's like craisins.
Yeah, craisins.
And there was kale, which I didn't think I'd like, but you couldn't really taste it when it's mixed with everything else. Yeah, it was a good salad.
Little bacon pieces.
Oh, yeah, it was so good. We should do that again.
And then blue cheese.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, wow, there's
Dressing.
a lot of stuff here. I don't think I'm going to like it. So I started out with like one tiny little forkful.
It was really good.
And then I ended up eating the bowl.
But
So
the thing is, the blue cheese dressing probably offsets all
Yeah,
of the
pretty much.
healthiness of the rest of the salads. So.
Coming up, we're going to talk about how much money would it take to get someone to lose some weight. We're going to tell you all about that in a bit.
John and Heidi.
How much money would it take to get you to lose some serious weight? $100? $500? Many employers around the country are betting they could find your price. At least a third of U.S. companies are offering financial incentives or planning to introduce them to get their employees to lose a little weight and get healthier in other ways.
That's awesome.
If somebody would pay me to lose weight, that'd be, I'm trying to lose weight for free. Maybe I should hang in there and see if somebody will pay me.
I'm not going to pay you
Hey,
to
fat
lose
old
weight.
fatty, I'll pay you. Put that donut down. Okay. Can I get the money now or? Let's trade donut for dollar right now. Let's do that. Same time. Let's count to 3. Now, $100? How much would it take for you if you worked for somebody that was going to offer a health
I
incentive?
would take anything.
So what if they said, we'll just do it. We want you to lose weight. Would you do that?
Well, nobody's going to tell me what to do. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it.
You want to lose weight? No? What if there's a hundo in there for you? Yeah, I'll do that. Well, speaking of food, we've got Taco Bell in the news. We'll get to that in a bit.
John and Heidi.
It's a new year, and many have made resolutions. Have you? If your resolution was to quit drinking or to kick a drug habit, we want to help. Our friends at Keystone can help you determine the best program for your particular needs. This is something that really matters to me. My father was an alcoholic. He lost his battle at age 49. That's just too young. If you're searching for help, I hope my friends at Keystone can help you find the help you're looking for. Call 844-204-1055. That's Keystone, 844-204-1055.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. We had several things we talked about, all this healthy stuff, healthy goodness. Well, now we're going to go down a different road. Taco Bell is going to go nationwide later this month with their taco in a shell made out of fried chicken. The shell of the naked chicken chalupa is made of an all-white
What a horrible
seasoned...
name.
I know.
I would not buy something like that.
Well, it's made... Listen to the rest of it before you completely turn up your nose. It's made out of all-white seasoned chicken. The rest of the taco is packed with their lettuce, tomatoes, cheddar cheese, and avocado ranch sauce. The fast food chain says the taco tested well in markets in Bakersfield, California, and Kansas City, Missouri over the last 2 years. So they've been doing this for 2 years in some places. It's going to be available at Taco Bell's all across the country on January 26th. I've got a link to this, and it's on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Do you think that's going to do well?
Not with me, but I don't ever go there for any reason ever.
I remember a couple years ago, there was a sandwich that I think KFC did it, where it was chicken, and they got rid of the bun, and they just used more chicken. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to try one.
I was like, that's the most ridiculous
I was like,
thing.
that sounds interesting. I want to get one of those. And you're like, what? I said, I want to try it. And you're like, why would you want to try that? I was like, I don't know. Their ad worked on me, and it sounds interesting. And now I need to try one. So I will probably try this. But I also have to say that I've tried other things that these people and the mad scientists and fast food places like Burger King did a black bun. Remember that thing a couple years
Oh,
ago?
yeah. That was a mistake.
I was like, what was that all about? And
we should have not done that.
we won't even go into the details. I know what you want to talk about. We're just not going to do that. Because there was an interesting side effect. If you had one, you know what that was. But it seems like these people cannot, for whatever reason, just leave well enough alone. I'm like, you guys already have stores on every corner. You're making millions of dollars. Just sell what you have. I mean, you don't have to. No. Put the Cheetos away. Don't put those in there. What are you doing? Some of the stuff that they've been doing lately. So this is one that I'll probably try it. Then I'll probably complain about it on the radio the next day. So look forward to that on January 27th. Coming up, we've got some good news. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of The John and Heidi Show is brought to you by The John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying The John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think this is good news. This is actually a really cool thing where they have 27 tips that can help you be more conscientious travelers. Because you don't want to be, that tourist. Have you ever been that tourist before, Heidi? No. So number 1, try to learn at least a little bit of the local language. 2, shop and eat like the locals. Number 3, wear clothing that's acceptable in the local culture. Number 4, many places have beautiful temples and things like that. Make sure you find out what you should wear if you're going to be going there. So you don't just walk in wearing, flip-flops and, ripped off t-shirt and all that stuff. Study and observe the local customs as much as you can. Strike up conversations with somebody you meet. Number 7, be ready to answer questions about yourself too. So when people are asking things, don't be shy. Make sure you open up and tell them. Remember that you're a visitor. That's number 8. There's a whole bunch of them on here, but it's ways to take a trip that you're going to make if you're going to go somewhere and get the most out of it. This is a way to get the most out of it. And there's a bunch of people that chimed in to help get this list of 27 tips. So whether you're going to be traveling somewhere exotic or if you're just going to, be going up the road a little bit, probably not quite as exciting for just up the road a bit. But, if you're going to go somewhere far away and do something fun, we're working on a trip, aren't we?
That would be lovely. Yes, I'm ready.
We haven't done that in a long, long time.
No, we
haven't.
haven't.
So we're working with a gentleman that's putting on an event, and we're hopefully going to be able to chat about it here on the program and invite you guys to come too. But working on all the details on that. I think that'll be a whole lot of fun. And we haven't been on vacation in a long time.
We haven't. It's been
I remember
ages.
we got married in Jamaica, and that was 17 years ago. Can you believe that?
I know.
17 years ago. And when we got married, we wanted to leave the resort and go into town, and they had this gigantic, huge man come with us, and we were like, what's that all about? And it was because he had
It's
to.
very dangerous, yeah.
It was very dangerous. We didn't know that. Nobody told us. They didn't say, oh, by the way, you probably shouldn't leave because you could get killed. But they had us go with this guy, and when we pulled into the parking space at the little shop area, there was a giant sign on the wall that said, no urinating. And I was like, well, we're definitely in the right place. This is the no urinating area. So we didn't park over there.
You
where
know,
that
it's
guy's,
a rough neighborhood when they have to have signs, real signs.
If
that
we'd have
say-
parked over there where that guy's urinating, that would have been bad. But this is a good one. But if you want to get the most out of your trip, they have a whole bunch of fun tips, 27 of them, and I've got a link on our Facebook page. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great Wednesday. Thank you for listening to The John and Heidi Show.